And we should be live this time. As I pressed it, I thought I'd better click the live button. Anyway, welcome back. We had a week away last week as I was on holiday in Keswick. Had a great time. Saw the Eurofighters flying around Keswick there. And there was also like an old vintage one flying around. It looked like a Spitfire, but it didn't sound like a Spitfire. So I was trying to find it on flight radar, whatever it's called, or that flight radar thing you get on your app, point it to the plane. But as soon as he come round, I was up there and I missed him. So I'm still trying to work out what that old plane was that was flying. It was propeller. So it looked like a Spitfire, but it was blue, I think, from a distance. So, but I still didn't know what it was. But if anybody knew, I think it was Tuesday of last week. If there's any vintage planes flying across Keswick, let me know in the comments below. But we've got 7 in the chat, including myself, which is good. Miss Modler, she's double booked herself, so I haven't seen. So she won't be on tonight. She'll be gaming. She's a gamer, so she'll be off gaming away. But I decided to have a bit of a chat tonight about scale. And so the question going out to the chat and to the group here is, what's your favourite scale and why? And I know there's going to be an absolute torrent of answers and why and how. And I was going to lay it on that I love 172 scale planes because I can build them within about a week or two. And that's the only reason. I'm a very lazy modeler and I get bored quite quickly. So I tend to build the 172s, maybe dabble in 148s. If it's a car, 124 for 135th or 132 for the cars, just because I like something simple that I can just focus on for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, then move on to the next one. What about you, Alex? Are you a kind of 148, 172 kind of guy?
Well, I was always a 172nd scale modeler. And I guess in the last, I don't know, year or so, I've become much more into maybe 48 scale.
Yeah, I remember you saying, yeah.
Yeah, because I used to do 72nd because, for one thing, you can get a wide range. There's a huge range of 72nd scale stuff.
Yeah.
You can do small stuff and big stuff and compare them. So you get a true sense of the scale of like fighters to bombers, kind of thing. 48 scale bombers, kind of a bit big.
Yeah.
So never had the room for that, so it kind of put me off the scale. But yeah, I've been getting into 48 scale a lot more. Maybe it's because of my eyes now.
Yeah.
And for armor, again, I was 72nd scale, and I've been getting more into 35th scale. It's just what it allows you to do. Although 72nd scale is the only true scale.
It's 176, isn't it? It's not 172, it's 176.
Yeah.
Is that right? I keep hearing this argument, and I'm not too sure where it comes from. So I've got Lexi knows her stuff. What about you, Matt, Captain VFC? Is it the only true scale?
Yes.
Is it 176?
It's 172nd. With Airfix, historically, they were somewhere between 172nd and 176th, just due to basically being rubbish at designing things accurately and wanting to make it in 176th, but it's not either. But 172nd for planes, absolutely. 148th if you really want to wow people or yourself. Right now, though, because I wanted to be awkward, I have this 1/100th Zvezda Matilda 2 tank.
Never. They can't do it for 1/100. What's all that about?
It was 10 pieces, and I put it together in about 10 minutes. So
and will you hairy stick that or hairbrush it?
Oh, if I airbrush it, it'll probably blow away. So probably hairy stick.
Small tanks, they do.
Blue tax, your friend.
To put it into perspective, this is the floor of the 35th Katie, and that's the box.
Wow. I do have a little bike in 172 from Zvezda, and I looked at it and I thought, no, it's Russian. So I put it away. But yeah, it's 1/100. But then again, I think there's a place for 1/100 scale aircraft, because I've looked at some of the Tamiya 1/100s and it's looking pretty good. They look pretty good. But then again, size matters, because, if you built a Concorde, 1/144 scale was pretty good. When you get to 172 Concorde, now that's a big bird, isn't it?
It's a very big, impressive kit in 72nd.
Yeah.
But imagine something like a 747 or an A380 in 72nd. That would be a bit excessive.
It'd be a tad big.
You'd need a bigger house for it. Everyone needs a bigger house for it.
Yeah.
What about you then, James? What's your favourite scale?
172nd for aircraft. I tend to build 148 these days because my eyes are a bit knackered.
Yeah.
And 148 for armour.
148th for armour?
Yes.
You're not a 135 kind of guy then?
No. I was sold on the Tamiya.
Let's have a look. Wow. That's pretty chump, isn't it? For 148th. I like that.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Well, you know, with tanks, it's a bathtub, isn't it? You know, so you're building a bathtub with a turret. So I get that. I do get that. Yeah. So
I tried building a 172nd scale armor, and it's bonkers.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. But then again, if you get 135th, if you actually put it side by side to a 172 scale plane, it's not that bigger, much bigger, is it?
Well, if you watch one of my videos, it's one on the Yamato turret. I put the Yamato turret next to a 135th scale tank.
Yeah.
And you get a sense of the scale of the tanks there. So
let's have a look. Yeah, I'll have a little look at that video. If you send me a link, I'll have a look at that. Is it an old video? Is it?
No, it's fairly recent. I think it's the.
I don't remember it coming up on my feed.
I think it's the part 1. I think I show it.
Oh, fair play, fair play. So, John, Alec, what's your favourite scale? Because you do every scale going, don't you? Depending on where the mood takes you.
Yeah, pretty much. So for armor, I think I'll always be sort of an armor guy at heart, and 135th is essentially the only scale I work with. I've done a couple of 48s, but 130. Same thing. You know, my eyes. Yeah, and in my fingers. For planes, I'm 148th. I 172nd scale for me. It's so small, and I'm just kind of a butterfinger, and I just can't work with them that well. So 48th and 24th. That 24 Spitfire. It's just for a little fighter. It's so massive. That I think that's going to kind of be a one-off. And then for planes, or for cars, 124th, 125th. Yeah.
I don't think I've done many 124th for cars because Airfix cars were all 132. And the cars I've done over the years have been that sort of size, and you kind of get into your comfort zone. Like I just dragged this one out of the stash for my mate Paul Jones, so I'm sending this up to him. But when I built it, because it's an old kit, I remember the grill at the front was so bad with flash. What I had to do was sand the back of it of the grill so that it would touch like the flash inside, and once you do the back of it so it's all flush, you lose all the flash. But it was an absolute nightmare. But that's what, that's what Airfix were good at for me, with their cars. The 132 scale cars back in the day were up there, and that's all we had. So when I look at 124 scale cars, I don't know which is the Porsche that I've got in. What's the Porsche that I've started working on this week? It's 124th. But when it comes to it, there's not a lot of difference in size because that's the 124th. It's not, it's, I do get that, it's what you're used to. I see Crazy Locker has said he's 48th for aircraft, 35th for armor, and 350th to 200th for ships, but I don't do shit. So what about you, Rex? Are you a 172 kind of guy or a 148 or... You're mostly planes.
My kits are all 172nd. Although I got a few. I got that Vampire from you, that was 148.
Yes, that's right.
Hornet 148. I got one ship, the Hornet, and that's 1700, I think. And I got a Starfighter 32nd Starfighter, and that's about it, I think. And the rest is like 300 kits, 172nd. And I like it because, well, like this Phantom, it's quite big and it's still 72nd, and yeah, same for bombers. It saves space.
Most of the helicopters that Airfix have done though are in 148 scale anyway, aren't they? They don't do many. Well, they have got a few 172 scale helicopters, but I think the modern stuff is in 148, if I remember rightly. I know the Western Lynx is 148, isn't it? I don't think
the Sea King is a 172nd.
Yeah, I got three Kings, 172nd.
Quite an old one,
172nd. Yeah, the new one as well. It's 2014.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. What about you then? I've lost you now, Fenris. Are you a 124th kind of guy, or you?
I think that 1-to-1 are the most fun when they're completed.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of across the board. As you can see, I'm building a eggplane scale one today.
Yeah.
But for aircraft, I think I actually prefer 48, even though 72nd is what I mostly have, just because space is a premium. And as much as I love the 48s, I can't display them all, and I have nowhere to store them. Tanks again, 48. I don't know. I just prefer them over the 32nd, 35th, whatever. Like all of them I built have been 48s. Again, Tamiya knocks it out of the park with them. But I have two ships, which are 1/700th. So that's, I think, just what I would stay to, just because that's, again, what I have, and storage wise, they fit. So.
Yeah, I get that. I do get that. Yeah, I think space is always a premium anyway for a lot of people, isn't it?
Yep.
So, when it comes to it, I said that I'm mostly 172 because I've dabbled in 148. I think the Bearcat I'm going to be building next month is a 148. The
15 minutes in.
Not even that.
Yeah. Well, it's like, how do it must be one of the most difficult decisions a scale model manufacturer must have. Right, we're going to do a Concorde this year. For instance, say Airfix are going to do a Concorde. We know they don't have a 1/72nd tooling of a Concorde because they've always used Hellas. Now they have got a 144th scale Concorde. They got the old vintage classic one. But I'm unsure about this new one, whether that's an old Hella tooling, and maybe, what do they do? Do they like retool a 144 scale one? Because they've got to do one, haven't they? Because the old one's an old kit, and I'm sure that the Revel one that you can buy is the old, very old Hella tooling. If you go on ScaleMates and have a little look. So, in my bucket list, if I'm going to talk, futuristically. I think the Concorde is somewhere in the grips of Airfix. But then again, they've got to make the decision whether they build it at 172, which I assume would be easier for them to do, because they don't own a 172. And I've noticed that the reason, thanks, man, Mostradamus speaks again. The ones they don't own a 172 Concorde, and they never had a Hellcat in 1/24th. They've done that. They never had their own Tempest, so they went off and did that. They've not had a Lightning F-35B. They've gone on and done that. So the only one that they need to do now, if you think about it, they've redone the Vulcan. So maybe this is the year we're going to see a Concorde from Airfix. If I'm just pissing in the wind, I reckon they're watching this now going, oh, has he found out, No. Sometimes when you get involved, you actually see the mythology. But do they do a 172 or do they just do the 144 scale one? And then, if that one sells well, do they blow it up and make it into a 172? Difficult decisions for them. What about you, Alex? Do you think they would do a 144, 172 Concorde?
I think so. I mean, it was interesting listening to their last, whatever they call it, sprue and talk.
Yes. Yeah, sprue talk. Yeah.
Sprue talk, that was it. When they were talking about 24th scale and 32nd scale, where they do a 32nd scale, and said that really 24th has always been their scale.
Yes.
Wouldn't really go into 32nd. So it's interesting to see from a manufacturer's point of view that, they have, if you like, their favorite scale. And the 32nd for them for aircraft isn't really a thing. So, but for 72nd, I mean, Airfix has always been, big in 72nd. So I think for them to own their own 72nd or 144 Concorde would be, it would fit, right?
Yeah. It'll fit into their mantra. They're not going to. Or the other one is that I've always said that if they're going down the route of starter sets, right? They've done the popular, haven't they? They've done the Red Arrows, they've done the Spitfire. Why they've not done a 1-to-100 scale Vulcan as a starter set? Because I do have a 1-to-100 Vulcan. I can't remember which company was. I think it was Dragon, which was a beautiful build. It was really nice.
Have Airfix done any 1-100 scale kits?
No, they've never done 1-100. But then again, they never got really into the 148 scale car market until recently, when they started bringing out the cars for the starter sets. So with that mentality, the other one that they could do as a starter set would be the Concorde. As one, but it would have to be a 144 scale, but then you could build that Concorde in 6 pieces, really. I reckon.
I still don't think currently there is enough interest in Concorde.
You don't think there's enough interest in Concorde?
There used to be, absolutely, but I just don't think enough people care about.
It used to be when it used Concorde. To fly across at 11:15 and 12 every day. So.
Yeah, and when it was big in the news that it was being grounded, and there was a time when Concorde was popular, whereas now I don't really ever see Concorde mentioned.
I agree.
In the press, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I don't know, because the reason I mention it is because they are in development of a new supersonic plane, and whenever they mention this new supersonic plane, they always say, "Oh, it's going to be the new replacement for Concorde." So I'm assuming that will give you the ethos to do it, if you see what I mean. There's a lot going on in America with this supersonic transport, and that's why I just assume that Concorde will be on the tip of their tongues, because whenever they mention this new, was it called the Bluebird or something? I can't remember what it's called now. But this new plane that they're building, remember, and Rolls-Royce have put the hat in the ring into the ring for the engines, so it would, it wouldn't be a big thing to do a starter set Concorde. Just put it out there, or start a set Vulcan. But this modeler's made a good point. I find it weird that when we think of the 172nd scale Concorde is big, and that will be a problem somehow when the Vulcan, Victor, and Valiant sell out, laughing my ass. Is that what she's meaning? Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, if they want to do quirky, they've got to do a Vulcan.
Yeah.
The Vulcan that was used as a test bed for the engines. For Concorde. Yeah,
and they've never shied away from retooling something, because that's what they've been doing anyway. They've retooled the Spitfire Mark 5s, they're doing the 5B, they did the 5C instead. As I said, they did the Tempest because they never had it in their range. They've always used the Hella kit, and the Hella kit was quite a good one anyway. If I remember doing the Tempest years ago, it wasn't a bad kit from Hella. And it's available now if you wanted to do the Hella version of the Tempest. But it would be interesing.
I think they do a starter set of either of those, a Vulcan or a Concorde. You'd have to go to like 1/280 scale or something to make it like small enough to make it financially viable.
Really? Because the 144th Concorde.
If you think of the starter sets they've got, they're fighters.
Yeah.
If you're talking gift sets, then like the Tornado they did, then 144 is about the same as that. But that's a slightly different prospect. And
I get that.
Standard set. I mean, we've had this discussion quite a lot on the podcast, but
we have,
if it's truly a starter set, something that's going to capture the imagination of a new modeler, to keep that cost down to sort of £12, I think you'd probably have to go to a smaller scale, and I'm not sure what you'd lose in that.
Well, the thing is, though, is that they went against the grain with that Lightning, that F-35B, because that one was 20 quid, but all but a penny. So they are willing to go to that £20 mark, and a lot of their gift sets, like the 4GT or the Jag that they did, they're around the £24, £25 mark. But when it comes to that sort of price, that's when it comes with the 6 paints, the 2 brushes, and the glue. Starter sets normally come with 3 or 4 paints, 1 paintbrush, and a bit of glue. But it does make you wonder what they could bring out. And as I said, I know that Airfix said we're going to bring out a 135th range of armor. Went to Academy, said we'll have that tank, and we'll rebox it as Airfix, and add an extra £5 for our own special decals, which doesn't bother me because I trust Academy, and if anyone says any different, they all do it. Every manufacturer does it. Revo. Do you pick up a box? If it's made in Korea, it's made in the Academy factory. Simple.
Made in Japan, it's in the Hasegawa factory.
Japan, Hasegawa. They all and it shouldn't be snotty nosed about it. It's business.
Well, and I think at least for me, the biggest thing that I have negative for Academy is their decals. So I mean, if Airfix is doing their own decals via Cartograph, then I see no issue. For me personally, as a modeler, right?
No, as long as the decals are good, and the instructions are good. Academy, I'd see. This is what I'm saying is that if you see the Academy instructions are quite vague sometimes. Airfix produce some of the best instructions out there. So if you are getting that plastic from Academy, you know that the decals are going to be Cartograph. You know the instructions are going to be Airfix. You've got nothing to worry about. And
Can I just quickly show off some Zvezda instructions? These are great.
I don't want to see Zvezda. No,
these are great.
Is it in Russian?
No. This is game changing.
Game changing.
Yeah. It actually goes top, bottom, middle. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
On that note, more officers just said this: Airfix will bring a new airliner to market, not retool or new Concorde. I don't know. They've never done airliners, really, have they?
They did do airliners. I can remember seeing them in the shops.
Yeah, but they were Hella toolings.
No. This is before Hella.
Really?
Yeah, they were 1/44 scale. They used to do BA C111.
Yeah,
in 1/44.
Yeah. But a lot of the newer ones were all Hella Reeboxes, weren't they? Because the Boeing 747 that I've got upstairs, that's Hella boxing, I think. But then again, Hella is releasing tooling that was originally Airfix now, because I realised that Queen Mary that I got for when I was up in Keswick, it's a Airfix released as Airfix, and Hella are now releasing it for themselves. So that's one tool that they lost in the transfer, which is a shame.
Well, they've lost the Jaguar, haven't they?
The Jaguar.
Sepcat Jaguar, because that was an Airfix tooling originally.
That was Airfix tooling. You're right there. Yeah. It was, and now they're re-releasing that one.
It'd be interesting to see if they bring out the 1/35th scale Arc Royal. Crew deck cruisers, because that's disappeared.
Because that was Airfix as well, original tooling, wasn't it? Yeah. I don't know. I don't think they'll bring out new. I think if you go back to the history, they seem to be looking at what they've done in the past, and I think Concorde's in that mix, because I also think there's a Beetle coming as well. I really think there's a Beetle coming as well.
Earlier, Miss Modler made a statement that the C-130 I think would be a better option, and I gotta say I agree with that. Like I would love to have a more accessible C-130 kit.
But didn't Hella do that one, the C-130? Under Humbrol, though. It was under Humbrol.
Did they? The only one that I can really think of is Mini. I always cross the two. Mini Art, whatever the one I use.
Oh, Minicraft by Academy.
Yeah. Which again, is Academy.
Yeah.
And
but if you look at, I sold a C-130 about a year ago because it was just too big for me, and it was under the Humbrol brand, but there was like it was like another brand within Humbrol. Was it like Wildcat range or something? I'm sure that was Hella. There's a big bird as well. You know, when you open up the box, you know, it was huge.
Yeah, it's big.
Airfix did the C-130, not Hella. Are you sure, Miss Modler? I think it was a Hella tooling. That'll be interesting. Yeah, I know.
My worked on C-130, so I've wanted to get a kit so I could make it for him, and I just haven't been able to find a good one.
Yeah,
for good price, I guess I should say.
Zvez to do a 172 C-130. Oh, the C-160 Transo was Bobcat. That's it. Well done. Come on, Lexi. Get off that computer game and come and talk to us proper. Honestly.
C-130 was Italieri originally.
Was it?
That makes sense.
So they still got the tooling for the C-130 then, do you reckon?
Yeah. Well, it would be turn up as vintage classic. It was in the catalogs for years.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, C-130.
But the most recent one was an ex-Salieri tooling.
Right. FX. So yeah, the Lockheed Hercules, wasn't it? That's the one. The gunship. Airfix. It was all Airfix. 1971. MCP. Tomy did one. USA Airfix guns. Yeah, I remember that. Last time they released that was 2002. So yeah, that will be interesting. Yeah, I still think the Concorde's got a point though. I think the Concorde's in there, and if they made it a starter set because it is an iconic British, you know, I know. Did I just say what 5 kits that you are expected to build in a scale modeler? Spitfire, Hurricane, Concorde, Vulcan. You know,
I've never made a Concorde.
I know you wouldn't.
Oh no, I would. I just haven't.
Yeah,
it's a big white triangle. I can't really fit that anywhere at the moment.
If they did the Vulcan as a starter set, the 1 to 100 scale that I had from Dragon, it was simply 2 halves together, and the wheels underneath. The detail was good. You spray it out, and away you go. Sure it was. Let me have a look at it. I've got the silicone Vulcan. I thought it was Dragon. He brought one out.
I still do think though, like if Airfix did a Concorde, it would sell. Like it would sell really well. I don't think there's any doubt.
I think the route they'll go down with it, if they bring back Concorde, is they'll do quick build first to test the water.
Test the water.
They did with the F-35, they brought the quick build one out.
Yeah.
First, and they brought the other one out.
But the thing is, though, is that you got to remember, even though it's quick build is a totally different area to Airfix than Airfix themselves. I found that it wasn't actually Dragon; it was the Cyber Hobby 1 to 200 scale.
That is Dragon.
That is Dragon, is it?
Yeah.
Cyber Hobby is Dragon, is it?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, it is Dragon. So 2011 Dragon, then in 2012 it was released under Cyber Hobby. Yeah, so and that's the one that I built, and I thought it was a delicate, lovely little kit to build that. But yeah, I don't know. What's that, Hobby Time? You got much chance of getting a new Concorde as much as a new Bearcat? I don't know. You've got to look. They've never done a Bearcat Airfix. They're not likely to because it's not been in their range at all over the years.
So reason to put one in it.
But I was saying neither has the Lightning, right?
Yeah, but Lightning is a new thing anyway, isn't it? When was the Lightning brought out then? 2000, was it? When was the Lightning first in production?
They never had a Beaufort, did they? That was a new one for them.
Yeah.
The ferret. Did they?
Yeah, but they went for the ferret because no one's ever done a ferret, have they?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I think they'll probably do something like a Lockheed Hudson.
That's a good shout.
Yeah.
Yes. That is a good shout.
Because obviously they had one. Italieri did a special hobby kit.
Yeah.
Which is quite a nice kit, but obviously it's a very well known bomber. It's at least it's a famous bomber, but it's not known for all the good reasons. Because it was used on the Coastal Command.
All I'm going to Crazy Lockers just said new Concorde will be a slow seller, not that fast after initial release, no matter what format. I can assure you that anything Airfix release, you look at their pre-orders, they've done well. Like for instance, what did they re-release this year? Was it the Buccaneer? No, which one was it they re-released this year with new tooling? And they only the Tempest, wasn't it? Was it Tempest? Which one they did a red scheme for one of the planes? Which one was that one? They did a red scheme. Oh no, it wasn't a Spitfire. It wasn't red. It was silver. Did a silver scheme.
For Tempest.
Yeah. Was it a Tempest? They did that the following year. Yeah, post-war Tempest. Bang. Because Tempest sold so well, they've gone and cracked on and released another one.
Yeah.
And I think Mosquito. That sold really well when it came out. If you have the vibe, people will buy. And that's what Airfix are getting good at.
Yeah, I think there's a market for the Concorde because how many decent 70-second scale Concordes are there?
There isn't.
Yeah. It's like the Vulcan. I mean, how many people today know about the Vulcan? As in like young people. I mean, it's something of my father's generation, right?
Yeah.
So, as was the Concorde, really. Concorde's a little bit newer, but as Miss Modeler said, the Valiant, all the V bombers, all sold.
Yeah,
there's still that desire for them, and I think there's still the desire for Concorde. I think it's about the quality of the kit. If Airfix did a really good tooling of it, it would go around and it would sell.
Why would you assume that young people would need to know about it? Surely the average age of this hobby is not.
Well, exactly.
Why is it that they keep selling Spitfires then? The average young person don't even really care about a Spitfire, but they keep on selling them.
Can you not badmouth Spitfires, please?
I'm just saying.
The Spitfire is, I think, going to be an exception to any argument because Spitfires will always sell, no matter how old they are. Everyone knows about them, but that is, I think, a unique.
Everybody knows about Concorde. It's only been 20 years since they grounded Concorde.
So the thing is, Concorde is an iconic aircraft. It did, it's the only supersonic airliner. Well, I mean, TU-144, but I mean that was dreadful. It had like a 2% accident rate.
Yeah.
Kane's in Hardy scale models. Nice to see you, my friends. I saw you
flight history that got the Concorde ski.
Well, the Concorde ski, because Vesda do that one, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm just laying it on there because when it comes to favourite scales, if they brought out a 172 scale Concorde, I would have a warmthness in my loins if that came out. You know what I mean? I'll definitely be using up me hobby points, me horny hobby points. You know what I mean? Me hornies. So I'm definitely using them up to buy one of them. I'd love to see it. I really would. And I don't know if anybody else has got a 172. Revel have, don't they? But it's dog shit in it. Or was that the 144 is dog shit?
That's Rebel, though.
It's Revel, isn't it? It's Revel. What about you then, Dave? What's your favourite scale then, my friend?
As I've got all that.
Yeah.
1 to 48.
Yeah.
I'm getting towards 15 hour and I can barely see it as it is. So, I do like. I mean, I'm doing 1 to 70 second stuff at the minute.
Yeah.
But it's the Vulcan, the Valiant, and the Victor, so it's not really an issue. And I've got the AWACS to build next as well, so that's not going to be an issue. But I did build the 1/24 scale Typhoon at the end of last year, and that was lovely to build because it was just so much detail, but not too small. It wasn't ridiculously small.
Yeah.
So when you get like a really detailed 1/72 kit, I do struggle a bit, just with some of the smaller parts, especially.
Also, but with 1/72 scale, because the canopy is always tiny, you don't give a toss really about how the cockpit really looks, do you? You know what I mean? Once you get that pilot in, it's mostly head under a dome of glass, isn't it? So when it's 48, then you can get a bit more space around the pilot, so you do need to do a bit more detail. But what I've found is that even though, so I've built that 148 Jeep or 135th Jeep from Mini Art. Even though it's 135th, some of the parts were so tiny, it was like I was feeling, it was just too much. And sometimes, even though it could be a bigger scale, they'll try and put in even smaller parts than an average 172 would. You see my point? But yeah,
I've got a scale for you, Moss.
Go on then.
1/288th.
Wow. Now I've known there's a few around.
That's a Blackbird.
Yeah. I think
somehow that feels like that makes sense though. It's half of a 1/144th, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean that has 15 parts in it. It's got more than that 1/100th Vesta tank.
Yeah.
Some of them are
Captain VSC's been ripped off with that.
It was only £6.
Also, going back to the previous conversation, this is interesting. A buddy of mine who's watching but is unable to actually comment in the stream. He said he ran a Google Trends thing, and he says right now the Concorde is actually more popular according to Google Trends than the Spitfire is.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just because Ben Stratus has just said, "Good day, folks. The Vulcan bomber is 97 foot long. Concorde is 202 foot. A 1/72 kit of Concorde would be a monster, but it'll be something that we'd all want to build, surely. But
it would be a centerpiece piece, you know.
I think if they did a new Concorde 1/72, it would sell like hotcakes. It
would sell.
Yeah. I do think so, yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Airfix do take a risk, because remember, they'll tell you what they're involved in, and then for the next 2 years, they'll keep itching out information about it, like they did with the Hellcat. They announced it, and it took ages for it to come. And same with the Vulcan. As soon as COVID came and stuff, it was even worse. Some of the kits, wasn't it? They really were in a bad place. But that's, if Concorde is trending, that's the reason why. It's because they're halfway into building a brand new supersonic jet, aren't they? So yeah.
I think if there is a time for them to be doing it, the time is kind of now. It really is.
Yeah.
So if they haven't already started working it, they're stuffed.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, Dom. Hella have a 172 one, and I'm sure Revel have boxed it, or Revel have boxed, or Airfix have boxed the 172 one, and it is crap. But as I said, when they were mentioning over the years that there were kits that Hella had that they didn't have, i.e. the Tempest. And what's the other one? Not the Tempest. There was one the previous year they didn't release the Tempest. What was the other plane that they did?
Typhoon.
Pardon? What was the other one they did? The one before the Tempest. Typhoon. Didn't they not have one of them? And Hella had the kit, and they redid the Typhoon.
No, I think they had one, but it was crap.
That's right. So they redone that.
Well, Typhoon's based. If it's the new Typhoon, it's based on the prototype.
Right.
Eurofighter. It's based on the prototype Eurofighter.
No, the Hawker.
Lot of detail differences.
Do you mean the World War II Typhoon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had a new tooling someday from Airfix. I got a
Typhoon, the Tempest. But that's why I talk about scales. Is that what would scale should Airfix do? Should they do the 172 or do the 144th? Because at the moment the 144th Concorde is actually a gift set, isn't it? You can buy it as a gift set. I'm sure you can.
Well, you've built the vintage classic, haven't you, Moss?
Oh yeah, I tell you what. My only caveat to that: if you build it, it goes together quite well considering the age of the tooling. And remember, it was made off the prototype drawings. It doesn't quite look like a Concorde. Hasn't got the pointy nose or nothing.
No.
But then when you put that blue stripe across, just cut it in threes. Don't try and do it in one big long one like I did because it won't go straight. Fucker. I spent ages bit the old, and then I broke it. But if you ever do it, just cut that blue stripe all the way down. And the other thing they missed a trick on was that they should have done the tail, the tail blue as well as a decal, because the only color in that blue that they have is in enamel. So I had to hand paint it with a hairy stick with that blue enamel paint. They didn't have it in acrylic. I couldn't get it in acrylic. I couldn't get it in enamel at the time. They should have done the tail section and have the gold tick, the BOAC tick in that. And that's what they should. That's the only thing I criticised about it, was that they should have done that with the decal sheet. But other than that, very, very good kit. Very little, putting them together. I didn't use a lot of filler either. I think I filled in where the stand goes and everything, but the wheels, the undercarriage was very strong for that kit as well. Well, it had to be because it's it's that long, definitely about that long. So imagine that, and you're doubling that. So Concorde will be, who says? So we need a 1/72nd tornado kit. The prototype that was made up of the Typhoon used to blow up in pilots' faces, but look means with twin exhaust racks. All right, I see. Oh yeah. If they do produce a 172 Concorde, it has to be British Airways. Exactly. But should they... Oh, yeah, I see what you've done there now, man. So I'll have a look at that in a minute. But just looking at Concorde 144 and then Airfix. Yeah. So in 2021, they released the last of the Concorde. But that kit is 19... Oh, hang on. There's two types. Oh, I see. Right, so they re-released it in 1977.
Re-released, wow.
So that they released it originally in 1966, the vintage classic version. So the one off the drawing boards in 1966. Then when it started flying, properly, and they had a proper, before they had 3D scanners, I suppose, they new tooled it in 1977. And then Airfix, and then they've boxed it as this one here. So this is the one that I've got in my stash. That one there. So that's the 144th one. And they're doing this as a gift set now. But I say, is this still sealed? I've never looked in it. I don't think.
It's probably just a plane in it.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. For 144, that's quite a long body, isn't it? That's quite long.
It's a long dart.
It's a big old plane, Concorde. Big plane.
So if you did that in 172, you're looking at double that. Oh, I just dropped a bit. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Oh no, on the floor.
It's wind up right next to the quad seat.
I was going to crimp then, but I
was it the seating? Was it the seating?
No, it was a little wheel. But yeah, but that's the kit. So.
I will say too,
that's still pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there you go, and there's the decal sheet for it. So yeah, it's I wouldn't go past and say it's not a bad looking kit. It's let's say for 144th, but they to be fair, would they retool it? I think the 170. I think they'll get away with it, but I don't know if anybody's built one. I don't know anyone who's built the 144th.
No, I haven't.
I'm gonna have to build it and see what it's like, aren't I? Really, before I start saying I need to bring out a new one.
I've got the vague memory of my brother building Concorde, but
yeah,
it was big.
It was big, really. He's the big bird.
Yeah.
That wouldn't go in my spray booth as it is now. But it does come with. Oh, look at this! Let me just. Oh, look at that! It comes with dried paint. Look how old the kit is, man. Crumbs.
It could be a week old and it was still a
I was about to say.
Look at that. Umbro Hella brush. Oh, that's a bit of a rough one, actually. You can always grade Umbro brushes by their age by just feeling. That's quite rough. When you get a new one like this is a new one. Oh, it's so silky. That's like a badger's arse, that is. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, the things you get up to down south.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. How would I know how rough a badger's arse was?
Different hobbies.
Oh, the glue's still glue's still wet in this.
Yeah.
Oh.
Why do you think Mozza's got TB?
TB.
Now he's sniffing glue.
We don't need to know the excuses. It's the wife that does.
Yeah.
Coming back stinking of badgers again.
Can I just say, I don't know how they expect me to paint that kit with that amount of paint. I'm gonna have to build that, aren't I? That Concorde and see how well it goes
Is
together.
that all you get?
Yeah, one pot of wet paint like that.
That's a joke.
It's symbolic. That's why it's solid. It's a symbol of what you need to go out and buy. Get this color.
It's very concentrated.
I think this was packaged during the Umbro era when it was owned by Umbro, not the Hella era, if you know what I mean.
It could be worse too. It could be, cast in a gray plastic, right? At least it's a white plastic.
Yeah, but you would still spray that primer because this plastic is fucking awful.
Yeah.
That real hard. You know the hard plastic?
Yeah.
You can hear it ticking.
Yeah, Lexi's owl was made of.
Oh yeah, definitely that. Let's not talk about that owl. I was only halfway watched the video because I was getting ready for this when I put it on. Let's go back to the comments here. Is there any other scheme, Mr. Smith? I don't know. All various schemes. I've seen my airline's port side as well. Ah, okay. Robert, it's actually Longy Italieri. That's how you say it. It's Italieri now, isn't it? It used to be Italieri, wasn't it? Because it was they cut it down, didn't they, to Italieri?
Scary, more like.
Yeah. I've heard it said always. Even the Italieri bloke on the screen has said it differently.
We should just call it Ian.
Ian. Yeah. Here's one for you. Martin B says, would love to build a 132nd EE Lightning F1 F1A. Not many good kits on the market. Well, we were talking about the Lightning. Somebody mentioned months back that a 124 scale Lightning would be really good for the 124th range.
I'd be epic that, I'd be straight into that.
You would, yeah. I love the Lightning.
Beautiful.
Fuck it out, don't I just? Yeah.
Get to
That would be a big kit.
That would be a challenge to paint in natural metal.
Yeah, I agree.
You would just chrome it first, when you would then put a black filter on top of the chrome, wouldn't you?
Or wrap it in that foil tape.
No, not that foil tape. Fucking foil. Apparently, the 144th Concorde is a good kit. That's the Airfix one, is it? But I'm just saying, this is 77, so it's 45-year-old. Would it be that accurate? Because nowadays, when they scan it and everything, they can get the accuracy almost spot on. I'm going to have to build it, aren't I? Hang on a minute, it's got the Airfix 1976. It's what I love about old kit. Can you see that? I put to screen that says Airfix 1976. Let me go big a minute. Let's go big or go home here. Hang on. Go big. Airfix 1976. So it's a 40-year-old kit, and they've retooled lesser kits, haven't they? Younger kits than that. Wouldn't the wingspan of the Concorde be narrower than the Vulcan? Oh, that'd be interesting to know. ACF Nugget. I built the 144 scale Concorde years ago. Not a bad kit. I've noticed you spelt it without an E. Get out of the chat.
Yeah.
You're not welcome.
We have no French or EA, you know.
He's a heretic.
It's a heretic. Didn't we shove the E on the end, or the French shoved the E on the end, didn't they?
French shoved the E on the end.
Yeah. Dom Scale Models, new Moss quote, like a badger's ass. Yeah.
What scale would the ideal Airfix badger's ass be in?
Oh, I don't know. Well, we always talk
1-to-1,
about
I
it.
assume.
It's like if you know, this bloke got chapped lips and he kept licking them like that. And I said to him, he goes, "You want to kiss a badger's arsehole with those lips?" He goes, "Why would it cure you?" He goes, "No, but it'll make you stop licking your lips."
That's a Jethro joke, man.
Yeah. I love a bit of Jethro. We love Jethro down here.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, he's absolutely like my wife.
Love Jethro.
When her dad died years ago, Jethro came to the funeral because he used to go clay pigeon shooting with Jethro years ago. Yeah. Tigers thinks we should get a 1/24th scale tiger moth just for Captain. Oh, for you, mate. Yeah.
Obviously, I would. That would definitely be the first 24th kit I'd make if they did a tiger moth. I mean, I love the mosquito, but I avoided that because it's bloody massive. But a tiger moth, yeah, all scales, all the time.
There must be a kit you would want in the so. What if let's put it out there, right? So, Alex, what's your favourite plane, and what would you love to see in which scale?
Oh God, I don't know if I've got a favourite.
No.
I'd love to see. I mean, I think we mentioned this before, but I'd love to see Airfix retool their 1/24th Messerschmitt.
Yes.
And the Stuka actually.
Yeah.
Again, 1/24th scale. That Spitfire is huge. Not my scale, but definitely if they did a 109, yeah, I would. I'd get that.
Yeah. I would like to see Airfix release a Ford GT in 1/48th scale. I'd like to see that. I think that would be a good one. What about you, Fenris? What sort of scale would you like, and what plane or what vehicle would you like to see that they haven't done already?
Yeah, I mean, I'm having a lot of fun slowly but surely building the 1/24th Hellcat. And because of that, I know that this won't be anything anytime soon, but I would love for a 1/24th Corsair. I built the Tamiya's 132nd, and it is just a glorious kit. It is hands down, I think, my favorite kit I built up to this point. And I would love to see a 1/24th Corsair. But I have too many Corsairs at this point.
Planes, do they? Tamiya don't do 1/24th planes.
They don't. They don't. I wish they did.
Yeah. What about you then, Rorex? What would be your?
I don't know. I've got too many kids.
I know.
I've got too many kids. So something 1/72nd scale that I don't know that doesn't exist yet. Yeah. So the stuff that I like is already on the market. So
yeah,
I'm quite good, to be honest.
Yeah, I would like Airfix to redo their FA-18 Hornet, retool that proper in 1/48, one bit bigger.
I would really want to see, preferably Airfix retooling, because their current one is very, very, very old. But if not, if they did it in 48th, I wouldn't even care it's in the wrong scale. I would go and buy it. I'd pre-order it, and I don't pre-order anything. A Douglas Devastator.
That's a good shout.
If somebody could just release a decent Devastator, I will buy it, and hopefully it will be Airfix because they'll do a good job of it.
Yeah.
But you can't laser scan one without diving gear.
There's only one under the water, is there?
Dauntless.
Yeah.
A Dauntless would be possibly better. However, there are Dauntlesses available,
That's fair.
I do know. looks at the shelf behind me. Yes, there's definitely Dauntlesses available, but a Devastator, no. There's nothing decent in 72nd or from Airfix for a while.
Tiger's just put in the chat saying about the Airfix 124 Stuka. Apparently, size-wise, it is more accurate than the 2007 Trumpeter 124 scale Stuka, both of the same variant.
I believe that, but I also just have had bad experiences with Trumpeter more than I have with Airfix. So
You're a fan of Trumpeter, aren't you, Alex? Is it you that?
I mean, what I
like their armor. I like Trumpeter's armor.
Yeah. I mean, my personal experiences have been good, but I know some people have had bad experiences. So, you know, I don't have as much experience to be able to say, well, that's not right. So,
well, trumpeters tend to get criticised for the shapes of the canopies, and they make up the cockpit interiors. Get a bit creative license for the cockpit interiors, and the less said about the colour schemes, colour callouts, the better is the better, because they tend to copy other people's.
Spur and Glue said they would like to see a new tool Lysander.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get the Dora Wings one.
Roachford said Blackburn Beverly in 172.
Bloody hell, that'd be great.
I would have thought they would have done that in the 148 first. 124th Harvard, yeah. Martin B building the old Airfix 148 Lightning F1 111 Squadron at the moment, but with lots of extras in polished aluminium. But the kit is 1997, but it's my favourite plane as my father worked on it. It's my favourite plane too. I like the Lightning. When you've finished it, mate, will you send me a picture on email and I'll send you one of the limited edition Airfix models Lightning patches, and I'll send you some stickers as well. Once you finish that kit, let me know. I'll send you one.
That's cool.
Those patches are very good.
I'm still waiting for that.
Mate, I need your address again. I did send it. I've sent it.
Still waiting for it.
That's so annoying, that is, because that's the second time I've sent that. You send me your address again so I make sure I write it down properly. I reckon I'm sending it to like some other part of the Netherlands or something.
Some random person keeps getting these bloody lightning patches. Going, I don't know what this is.
It's like, yes, this is my favorite plane. I don't know who knew this about me, but
what about a Bristol 188?
Too obscure.
That's very, very a niche.
But I would love to see that as well. That'd be cool.
Who does one at the moment? Oh, oof! The Bristol T118 supersonic research aircraft. Dragon Model Works did one. Oh, not many have built one, have they?
You know what else hasn't had many kits of it? The Douglas Devastator. Come on, Dale, you can do it.
You know what else I would love to see, and I'm hoping sometime soon we will? The Artemis program. Getting a kit of the Artemis 1 rocket.
Yeah.
But I know how that is with space models at the moment.
I don't know. I don't see why they just don't look at a model of the SpaceX rocket and do something similar and call it the Future Rocket to the Moon package.
Yeah, or something with Blue Origin. Like, there's a lot of stuff there.
Everybody else don't care about licensing. Airfix do, but Gecko didn't, and they still released that. Katie, they need to do more space. They need to do more space.
Yeah, the space sci-fi stuff is really popular. There's, kind of a whole genre of that.
Yeah,
there's folks that's all they do.
So it makes sense that real life space should also have somewhat of a, audience, right?
Oh my God, you believe in space?
The Earth is
I
flat.
love the fantasy of it. Even if it's not real, it's still fun to think about.
Yeah, you can tell Matt's a flat earther.
Oh my God, you
Yeah.
believe in an Earth?
Don't believe everything you see, folks, even if it's under your feet.
Lies, all lies.
See, the last time Airfix released the space shuttle was in 2011. What they should do is release it as Moonraker, because Revel is at the moment.
Yeah.
We re-release it as Moonraker, which
That
they
would be
did.
so cool.
Again, licensing.
Yeah, licensing
Doesn't
is
matter.
an even bigger problem then.
It's like if you want, say, you want Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. It's an old Aurora kit. That's
Yeah.
how
I was
old.
about to say, do they have a Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yes,
kit?
they do. It's an old Aurora kit.
Huh.
It's basic as hell. But the thing is, they've not released a. It's because of the Broccolis have the licensing for it.
That's the same folks that did the James Bond. It's that was a Albert Broccoli. What was it, Dan Jack or something production?
Yeah, because Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is Ian Fleming.
Ian Fleming. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
If they did that, just released it as the Moonraker, who cares? Call it Moonshaker. You know what I mean?
Child catcher.
Call it,
Child catcher.
call it James Pond Moonshaker rocket. They'll probably sell millions.
With the Basildon Bond.
Taggart says, I think a new tool, Eurofighter Typhoon or Tornado overdue. Well, the problem is the Eurofighter to Revel is like Airfix and the Spitfire. They keep releasing the Eurofighters, so I don't think they will.
Do a tornado then.
Yeah, Tornado. The Tornado kit is dog shit right now. Yeah.
Yeah, my son wanted to sort of do a model with us and whatever, so I had it up to the Airfix Tornado in my stash. And I don't do that, and I can't believe how bad that kit is. There's just no detail on it at all. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Really needs a new tool. It really does.
And then, of course, I have to mention I need more dinosaur kits, but y'all know me with that.
Dinosaurs.
Bit tricky to laser scan one.
Right?
And another thing that Airfix haven't got in their range, in either scale, apart from quick build, is the Challenger. Now, Challenger 3 is due out soon, isn't it? Because I've seen the pictures.
They've been putting out documentaries too.
Yeah. Because I had a guy saying, "Oh, they're not going to bother with it. They're just, But I said, "No, I've seen pictures recently that they've ordered 100, I think, but they don't do a Challenger. And if Airfix want to get into the 1/35th scale market, surely a Challenger would be a kit that they could do."
Yes,
Maybe
but
it's
especially
Top 2.
Challenger 2.
But this trumpeter, when I was looking at it the other day, actually, there's quite a lot of detail in this Challenger 1 that they do. And they got the tracks there and everything. So that's my next build. Another build on the list is the Challenger. But I'd like to see Airfix bring out a Challenger. That'd be pretty cool. Challenger tank and a Bearcat. But a Challenger in 1/35th scale, I don't think there's many out there, is there? I know, did Tamiya do a Challenger in 1/35th? Or Academy, for instance?
I wouldn't be surprised if Tamiya does, but I don't know if they do.
Tamiya, I don't do armor, but Tamiya definitely got a Challenger kit out because my little moneycop's got one. I don't know how old it is, but he's definitely got one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dom Scammo said they're selling it as a bloody starter set, the 1/72nd Tornado, but it was my first kit I'll be put off Airfix for life. Didn't they did the Eurofighter, didn't they, as a starter set? And apparently I remember Nomad Productions, Paul, he built it. He's saying it was a good kit. And I think Modelling Weekly built it as well, that Eurofighter from Airfix. It wasn't a bad kit as a starter set.
It's not bad as a starter set, but again, it's very basic. There's no detail on it. Like the cockpit's got almost no detail at all. The body's nothing. The jet pipes are just literally the inside. There's no detail at all. It's literally just a flat piece of plastic inside the back.
What's that? Is that on that Eurofighter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a great kit. Like it is. I mean, it's great, like the starter kit or something like that. But if you wanted to make it like a really decent one, you'd be putting a lot of sort of scratch building into it or looking for aftermarket stuff.
That's interesting. The most modern British take Airfix have done is the Chieftain. That does make sense, doesn't
They
it?
did do a Challenger 2.
Who did?
Airfix.
Challenger 2?
But it was the Tamiya kit.
Did they?
I'm just looking on Scalemates.
Did they do a Challenger 2? I didn't spot that the other day.
But it was just it was just reboxed of the Tamiya one.
Well, that's all right. Was that 1/35th scale, was it?
Yeah.
Should be decent if it's Tamiya.
No, I'd like to think that it's the one that Tamiya know that they messed up, and so everyone buys the Airfix one and goes, "Oh, Airfix are terrible. I'm never buying them. I'm sticking to Tamiya." It's all a scheme.
Hidden agenda of Tamiya.
I wasn't Tamiya. It was Trumpeter, wasn't it? Not Tamiya, Trumpeter.
Oh, that's no fun.
The Airfix one?
Yeah.
No, Tamiya. The 2004 Challenger
Well, the
2.
one I've got, the British Challenger Tank 2 from Airfix, the one I've got is Trumpeter.
Fight.
Was a re-release.
It's
I'm gonna
Scalemates.
pull it up on Scalemates, and Scalemates is gonna tell me a third company.
Yeah, Tamiya,
Ravel.
yeah, Tamiya
Mr. Craft.
reboxed the Trumpeter one, it looks like. And then Ryefield Models this year have reboxed it again.
Looking at the 135th or the 153rd.
135th.
The 153rd is a quick build. I'm being stupid.
This is a
There you
serious modelling discussion, Fenris.
Oh, what am I doing here?
So there you go. That's it there, Trumpeter. New tool. And then Tamiya, Airfix, Hobbycraft, Ryefield Models have all reboxed it. Oh no, Ryefield Models is a new tool. So Airfix won't do the Challenger 2 tank now because Ryefield Models has already done it.
That's wild because I would have expected Trumpeter to rebox at Tamiya, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Tamiya reboxed the Talaris F-35, didn't they?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Tamiya reboxed a lot of Italieri kits.
Yeah.
They usually state it on the box.
Hi, Terry, Hobby Barn. Hope you're well. Hazigara do a brilliant 172 Eurofighter, and it fits like a dream. Yeah. Trumpeter. Somebody say Trumpeter as well, but no, it's Trumpeter, then Tamiya, then Airfix, and then Ryefield Models has brought out a new tool in. So I don't know what that one's like, but knowing Ryefield, it'd probably be so fucking complex. It'd be like building mini art. Never built a Ryefield model, but I always think they're a bit on the expensive side.
Yeah, me neither.
I wonder how much.
Where are they from?
Where are they from? I don't know. Ryefield Models.
I should tell you on Scalemates.
They're Chinese. Chinese. So basically, it'll be reboxed as Hobby Boss at some point, there, won't it?
Yeah, probably.
Or border model.
See, the Jadlam was saying them for 50 quid.
I thought that Hobby Boss was like connected with Trumpeter, or was that like
Speak to Alex. Alex knows it. There's a friggin' name. It's one name. Yeah, how'd you say it?
Well, I don't know how you say it. But phonetically, it looks like Zhongshan Yatai. It's the parent company of both. It's a science company. They make electric motors for boats, among other things.
Wow.
As well as owning Hobby Boss and Trumpeter.
Martin Beecher said a good 148 RAF Seeking Puma and a good size 1991 Gulf War Warrior would be nice. Somebody done a Warrior from the go, haven't they? Did somebody do a Gulf War Warrior?
I think it was AFV Club.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
That seems to ring a bell.
Yeah. Talking about retiring, RAF should be retiring the C-130. Can we get a C-130 kit from Airfix? Yeah, they've got one.
They got a few, I think, even.
Young Chaton Yatai.
Zhongshan. Yeah.
Normally, when it comes to Chinese, I just normally blurt out numbers on the side, like I'll have a 176. Can I have a 122 with a special fried rice, please, with extra barbecue sauce? Does anyone know the best 172 Tornado, Revell or Italerate? Well, it won't be Revell. Don't know. I've never built the Tornado.
Same kit.
Same kit, is it?
I have no idea. I'm just guessing.
Have a look. Man, some young cock. Yeah. Cream from a young fun guy. That's what was that again? That was wasn't that Austin Powers?
Yeah, I think so.
Cream of a young fun guy. Yeah. Wyong Shang Yati. Oh yeah.
Zhong.
There's a warrior kit out from Afghan bar armor. What the one that I got the other day?
One thing I do not understand about this particular egg plane set, it came with these little figures, and I have no idea what they're supposed to represent.
I got sent this. Look at that, Super Cat Coyote, which they've only ever released once. They start releasing these again, really. I'd love to see this. I'd love to see the Afghan range done again.
Yeah. That's from that same range that had the quads came from, right?
Yeah. What's that, sorry?
They got into hot water with the Afghan range before. They got some real stick.
It wasn't that. It was the house. They did that house.
They did the bombed out house. Yeah, they got some real stick about it.
And it was like, so? Yeah, they got some, and it looked like a clapped out house. That's what it was. But, loads of other companies do clapped out houses from World War II and stuff.
Mm.
But I've got about 5 of them because I picked them up for $5 each. 5 of those Afghan houses. I've never built them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to getting me chops on this one. But so this one was released back in, I'll tell you the date on here. It's skill level 3, mind. So it's going to take some building.
Is it 148?
Yeah, 148. They did a 148 range because I did the quad bikes, didn't I?
Mm.
And for 148, they're tiny, but it was really good fun building. Really good. They should release that range again because it must be 20 years for Afghan now, isn't it? Afghanistan. Operation Herrick was 20 years ago, wasn't it?
2001, wasn't it?
Well, they missed that then.
Or was it 2003? Sorry, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is 20 years then. So you could release it this year or next year as, And Super Cat is at the other side. Is it like somewhere near Dunk as well, isn't it? Down in Devon. Super Cat. Taggers, not like Moz to have an Airfix stash. Yeah, I've got a few.
He has a cave.
I have a cave, Airfix. Well, I'm trying
I'm gonna have to dash off. I'm sorry, just got the kids calling. So
no worries, mate. Nice seeing you, my friend.
See you
Be well,
later.
mate.
You be well.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah. It does need to make a comeback. It does, because it was all good stuff. And I said I had so much fun building those quad bikes. Apart from the fact, I've got them in. I'll put them up in the library. Apart from the fact that I lost that bastard seat and I could never find it again. But the money now, that quad bike on eBay is 38 quid. £38. Unbelievable. So Operation Herrick was 2002 to December 2014. Well, they could re-release it again in the 20-year anniversary.
I was gonna say if they wait to 24, it could be the end of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you that's another thing, Moss, that comes into me with scale is how much kits are.
Yeah.
So what was it that I was looking at? The indigenous Indonesian fighter. I can't remember what it's called now. But getting a 72nd scale one of those, I think you pay £2 more and you get a 48 scale. So I'm not going to buy a 72nd scale, even if I prefer that, but I can get the 48 scale for a couple of quid more.
Yeah,
so
I never thought of it that way before.
So sometimes it comes down to that for me.
Yeah.
Tamiya pricing is quite like that because Tamiya is like things like the Mustang, the single engine stuff is not that expensive, much cheaper than the Airfix equivalent.
But the tooling's old though. That's the problem.
Tooling's 1990.
I would like somebody to look at Tamiya kits and tell me if they're as accurate as they make them out to me, because apparently they're not. So
if you send me some free Tamiya kits, I'll do that for you.
So I'm
Yeah,
going
me
to
too.
I'm going to 3D print my own 124 scale Airfix Bearcat this way. Saying that though, a bit of a project for me this week. I promise you, I didn't print it on the Humbrol 3D printer, but that there is a 1-to-1 scale rubber duck from Convoy that was sent to me 3D printed, and I've sanded it down best I can, but you can see the ridges on there. I've given it. I sprayed it up with 500 submissive surfacer 500 spray, then gave it a spray of chrome. So I'm going to have a clear coat put on top of that, and then I'll paint in the cigar and the eyes, and then that will be ready for
Which chrome is
lorry.
that?
Pardon?
Which chrome was that?
That's the Humbrol chrome. That is.
Okay.
Is it metal coat? They call it metal coat in a spray can.
I saw that pop up on my Facebook and nearly spat out my coffee and thought, what idiot is responsible for this monstrosity? Oh, look, it's mine.
And another thing is I bought these dropper bottles from Amazon, and inside you can see the pipette there says 1 milliliter. So if I wanted to accurately put thinners into my 3 milliliter starter set pots or whatever, so if you know that you want to do a 50-50 mix with the Tamiya lacquer paint, you could put it in a bottle.
I do the same thing with these pipettes. It's hard for my camera to pick it up.
They're hard to see.
They are.
They're hard to see. This one here.
That's much clearer. Yeah.
Much clearer. Look at that.
Yeah.
1 millimeter. The only trouble is, you've got to turn it to fill it up. So there you go. That's 1 milliliter there. So you pick it up, just drop a bit off. Little drop. There you go. That's 1 milliliter. That's 1 milliliter now, and just pour it away. So that's my new, and I've done it for all of them. I've done it for the lacquer. I've done it for the X20 thinner, and I've also done it for the that one there. That's it, and for the lacquer thinner with retarder. So I've all bottled up now on this. It only cost me 12 quid for 12 bottles, I think, and a little funnel. Saying about price, I know some people here buy the Edward Weekend Edition, or whatever it's called, which is a quicker build than the normal version. But Edward are up and down on their prices, aren't they?
But I mean, I've not really built an Edward kit, but isn't the their weekend edition like still like pretty well detailed? Like it's not it's faster, but it's still like a Tamiya Airfix kit just to be.
They usually give you fewer options, fewer schemes to do. So the Hellcat weekend edition is I think 3 off the top of my head, and they don't give you any photo etch. But that's really the only difference.
3 schemes is more than how many other 1/72 scale kits give you, right? Most give you 2.
Exactly. Yeah, sometimes you do. I think I've got an Avia biplane, which is 2 schemes, I think.
Yeah.
Again, because it's the weekend edition. But they're much... Well, I think they're worth it, the weekend editions, because they are great kits.
Crap instructions, though, aren't they? The instructions are crap, aren't they, on Edard? Is that right?
Not for me.
Not for you.
No.
I can read them after a couple of beers, so they must be all right.
Yeah,
that's a good baseline.
They are great for the photo etch. I wish that they were a little bit better for the photo etch, but they're not bad. They're doable. They're doable.
I need to do an Edward at some point. Do they have a Corsair?
I don't think they do.
What?
They have a Hellcat.
Dead to me.
Have you done the Revell 132nd Corsair, Fenris?
Not the Revell one, mostly because I've done a single Revell Corsair and never again, and Revell is also dead to me because of that 148th Corsair. No, because
have you watched Alex's video yet?
I have, and I've seen a few. Like I got so close to building their 132nd just to see, and I can't bring myself to do it. But I built one of their 148s that they designed it so that way you could fold up the wings and fold them down, fold up the landing. Like it became like this toy thing, and I'm just like, why? It's awful.
Yeah. No, I didn't put one on the Humbrol 3D printer because the floor is too small for it, so I can't do it on there. So
because you wanted it to actually print.
Yeah, I wanted it to print as well. Harry Hobbybarn said the little guy in the eggplane kits are the mascot for Hasegawa.
Yeah, I was confused because a lot of times they have anime characters on the boxes, and then it was like, why is this character not matching the character on the front of the box? That they had an actual mascot. That makes a lot more sense.
They have a woman on the front, don't they?
I mean, some have guys, but yeah, most of them.
The Mickey and 1.5. The Mickey and 1.5's got a woman on the front, isn't it?
Yeah.
I thought they all had sort of an anime gal on the front.
Yeah.
But this was the figure that came with it. I'm like, that there's a little bit of a discrepancy there.
Building a Saudi Strike Master at the moment. Oh, fair enough, mate.
Ooh, nice.
We've had quite a few suggestions. I'd like to see Revell bring out some nice kits this year in whatever scale. I think they've lost their way. But then again, what's Tamiya really brought out over the past 3 or 4 years that has really, apart from, the Lightning, I've heard people say different pieces about the Lightning.
I picked up their Lightning and their Hellcat, and I haven't built them yet. I've just looked at them, and they both look great. But those are really the 2 super huge standouts that I've heard over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they don't seem to, I think Airfix is just playing the long game. They're going out, they're producing kits, and the Vintage Classic is its own range in itself. Just look at this Riffield Models Challenger tank. Frig me, that's a lot of work in there,
Yeah.
Crumbs, there's a lot of work in that.
I'd like to build one of those Copper State model.
Actually, I think Zinsan's building a Zinsan scale model is built the Riffield Challenger, and it's basically like a mojo for it. There's so many bits for it.
Cheers, Brew and Glue, appreciate that. Is that right? 148th Edard P39 Weekend Edition, 15 quid. Wow.
Yeah.
Bargain.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Where's that?
By 10.
It's really, really nice. I think it's 1585 or something.
16. Gosh.
You lied.
Yes, it's not a good value anymore.
I've duped you all.
It's all bloody snake oil.
Just looking at scale mates, and since 2020, Tamiya have only released 36 new tools, and a lot of those are cars and bikes.
Yeah.
In terms of aircraft, Phantom, F-35, that's it.
P-38.
Yeah, the P-38 should be.
Yeah, it's not on scale mates.
It is sad.
Oh, the P-38's 2019. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a lot of releases in that time.
No.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Not when the likes of Trumpeter and Hobby Boss are releasing like 150 kits a year, new tools.
Well, but didn't Japan also like go super heavy on lockdowns during COVID? Like,
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised if that's not part of it as well for Tamiya.
Yeah.
But I mean, by now you would think that they would spin it back up, though, right? Like, I don't know. Also, this Triceratops will not glue even with super glue.
It's extinct
Tell it off.
one.
Tell you what, I'd like to
Multi-step.
see more of those old Airfix wildlife kits. Do you remember those?
Yeah. The old birds and that, innit?
I mean, I do have the Airfix dinosaur for the Corthosaurus here. So-
I remember my dad bought my sister and I, because there's a T-Rex, I think, and a Triceratops.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
built
both of
those.
I've looked at them and I'm just like,
as well.
like I look at them and I'm just like being a dino nerd, it's like they're so badly out of date insofar as what we know about them now. But screw it. This Pegasus Hobbies one is actually pretty good, but it's a vinyl kit, so I can't use a lot of my normal techniques.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, which is why the super glue is having a time and a half gluing. But
Well, if you want to get a 172 kit from Edard, a weekend kit, for £14.25, there's one here on Amazon, a MiG 15, which is hella cheap. Hella cheap, that.
I totally would do that.
I've put it in the chat. And Edard, it came 7459, and it's the checkered finish on it. Yeah. Molded color.
As long as it doesn't rain anymore, I can.
That's a hell of a kit, that, I tell you. That's a good price, that.
yeah, right now my stash is too big. I have 8 kits that aren't finished.
That's not a stash. That's my rucksack in the first hour of a mono show. I've got 8. That ain't a stash. When you start walking into the house and you hide it from your missus, that's when it becomes a stash.
I've
I
got
mean,
pulled
it may
out.
or may not be happening, but you know.
Ain't a stash is too big.
I've popped out one lunchtime for a coffee and accidentally bought more kits than that.
Oh my, tell you, I shit 3 kits in the morning. Honestly, I get 8 in my stash is too big. Fucking hell, honestly.
I've got more 50-litre storage bins of kit than that. In fact, I've got more than 3 times that.
Frig me, man.
Yes, I've got a bedroom full of kits.
I honestly, my stash is more limited by my floor space than actually anything else, and I'm in
That's what a loft is for.
Well, we don't have one. Like everything has to stay in my office, and it's like 8 foot by 10. So like it is super. It's like a closet. So
That's what adoption services are for. Sorry, that's not.
Yeah, and it's more shop. More,
take over the little one's bedroom. Sorry.
There you go. Pete Mathers has said, to be fair to Tamiya, there isn't much they have released that's horrible to build, and no one will ever build their entire back catalogue. So do they need to release new tools for the sake of it? Sometimes it's about the accuracy. That's
It would just
the
be
issue.
nice to see something new.
And also that pinky Jeep, that SAS Land Rover, the pinky. Is it called the pinky?
Pink Panther.
Yeah, the pink panther or the pinky, whatever they call it. I know the SAS called it the pinky, I think. That tooling is nigh on 50 years old, and it can be, and I've seen it for sale for 30 quid still. Do you know what I mean? They've made their money on it, obviously. So,
well, but I mean, I guess the other thing too with Tamiya though, right? Like they also do RC cars. They also do right, like they have so many other hobby areas. Whereas like Airfix, it's like comparing Tamiya against Airfix, Humbrawl, Corgi, Scalextrics. You know that as a whole.
That's a good question. Let's put this out to you. Can all have your 10 pence worth on this one here. Do you think the Airfix 172 F35B compares to the Tamiya Italeri one? Well, it's a starter set, so no. There's no weaponry on it for a start. You've built it, haven't you, Alex?
Well, no, but I've got...
you ordered it, have you?
I've got every single 172nd F35 available. I'm going to do a review on them all, compare them all. So.
Oh, fair play. The thing is, though, is that, like I said, it's chalk and cheese. You wouldn't give the Italeri or the Tamiya one to a beginner, would you? No, or would you? Would you give a Tamiya one to a beginner, or would you give them the Airfix one to start them off with?
Good question.
That's the question, isn't it?
Well, to be honest, I've been building a lot of armor
in
148 scale at the moment because I can.
Yeah.
And some of those kits, I wouldn't give them to kids.
Yeah.
I myself, I knew what I could build at 10 and 11 years old. You can't build them because obviously they're so tight on their tolerances.
Yeah.
They won't fit. Because obviously when I was using a pair of nail scissors to cut them off the sprue and a nail file to clean them up, I could not get them to fit.
I built Tamiya kids when I was younger, just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tamiya. Oh, Tamiya.
I will say though, I'm building this. I've got two 190D. Yeah, this is the Revell, which is actually the Dragon kit.
Okay.
And I've got a Tamiya. This is, I think, the D11. Tamiya is the D9. This is a bitch. The Dragon kit. It does not fit at all. There's big gaps and everything. The Tamiya one is perfect. It's been
pulled together.
Yeah.
But is it accurate?
I mean, they both look pretty similar to me.
I've got one sitting up on my bedroom wall. There's Tamiya ones.
When it comes to accuracy, like if I can get it if it's like, okay, it's a couple millimeters off, that's not accurate, but at the same time,
yeah,
I don't know that matters, at least to me. You know what I mean? Like if a kit fits nicely, that matters way more than it's a couple millimeters off. It's missing this one lump. It doesn't have this one hatch. Like, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I would rather them fit nicely and not have it.
It depends on how significant the accuracy issue.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if it's like the wing is in the wrong spot, or the canopy is totally the wrong canopy, that's a whole nother thing.
Or the front end of the Airfix Brewster Buffalo looks like garbage, then I wouldn't buy it. But a millimeter here or there on the wingspan, I don't mind.
Well, the thing is with the Tamiya Lancaster, that they built it so it's got the support chocks in the undercarriage, so the undercarriage sits too high.
But then you see people who complain about Tamiya being inaccurate because it is off by a couple millimeters, and it's like that's a different argument than inaccurate because the whole front end is wrong, right?
Yeah. I
can remember a troll saying, "Oh, the Nashorn, it's wrong. Moaning at me because I was pointing out there's ejector pin marks everywhere. It's wrong. It's missing detail. Again, when Edard can come up with an aftermarket set, you can put all the detail on there.
I got this week from Amazon for 13 quid or 13.99, so £14 but a penny. This one's 1/25th scale, 34 pieces, and it's 2013 tooling. So I'm hoping
you say 1/25th scale.
1/25th scale Airbus.
That's unusual.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Is that the one we were talking about, Moss?
Yeah,
That's wacky.
I wouldn't have bought it because that could be a good starter set. Well, you know, it's all mustard though, isn't it? You know, be honest, lads. You know, I've built kits and I thought, what a load of wank. I wouldn't even give that to a starter. And then some kits, like I said, you know, that Tempest so fits well together. They could box that as a starter set from Airfix. I love that Tempest.
I had noticed.
I built 2 of them.
The Typhoon is quite similar. If you haven't built that, it's equally as enjoyable. Just obviously a different plane.
And I love Hella's flappy boxes. Airfix should do this with their boxes.
Oh God, we're on the flappy boxes again.
Flappy box, Bearcat. Cool. We've had a bingo tonight. Sonny must have won the jackpot.
Somebody get the smelling salts. Wake Moz up.
There you go. What's the decal sheet? Oh, fucking hell, that's some decal sheet. Look at that for a decal sheet.
Do you like a flappy box?
I love flappy boxes. I make my own. You can watch my video on making a flappy box.
It's a BYOF.
If you look up, I can make any top box of Airfix into a flappy box.
I don't want a flappy box.
Oh, you do want a flappy box?
I just put
why you need a flappy box?
I just take the lid and I put it like upside down under the box and I'm good to go.
Yeah, but why don't you put it back on top again when you finished?
No, because a lot of times the kits are taller than the box.
Oh, okay. But that's a lot of decal for 1/25th scale, though, isn't it?
Oh wow, yeah. That's about the size of the 1/48th Meteor decal sheet that still has yet to be found.
He's in burning
They're all Air France. They're all Air France. They're not,
oh, so they're worthless.
Well, I've got.
Hey, Zintan. Always good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, always a pleasure. Oh, even more decals there. Wow, they look alright. Those they do their own decals, don't they, Hella? But let's have a look at it, see what it's like to build.
As long as they're not as bad as the Alouette ones or every other Hella one that I've got.
2 engines, fuselage together, 2 wings, and then them together. So there's only 5 steps, or 8 steps to build it, 9 steps to build it. 9 steps to build this, mother. I don't like that one though. I prefer the Scots. No, I like that one. That's a nice scheme. Just saying it's French, isn't it?
I did think that was one thing I thought was funny about this kit. It has 9 parts, so it's all of one step. And yet, this hobby, they insisted on making sure the instructions say step 1 the whole of the book. You know, like they had to call out step 1, and it just was like you didn't have to include that.
Step 1, build dinosaurs. Step 2, celebrate with a coffee.
Like it's just like 1, like that's the whole thing.
That's funny.
I think the Airfix dinosaurs were about that.
Well, the Corythosaurus was 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Oh, no, I might have to use aqua color.
Sprinkler, what more lightning have I got to build? Looking, it's the EE lightning or the BAC lightning, not the F30. It's not the Lightning 2 or the American Lightning. It's the EE lightning or the BAC lightning, which the BAC was licensed under EE, wasn't it? English Electric built it, then BAC built it under license.
EE became BAC.
They were absorbed into BAC.
They're absorbed by them.
EE was?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I think they actually designed the English Electric Lightning in the 40s.
They did.
Yeah. That and the Canberra were designed. They were on the drawing board as soon as they had jet engines.
Yeah.
So
I like the Lightning. People say it was dog shit to fly, but or really hard work to work on. But I think they were beauties. Loved them. Absolutely loved them.
Well,
did I hear you say a 1/25th scale airliner? Yeah, this one's 1/25th. That one's a 1/25th.
But 1/25th, right?
Yeah. Which
a 320 is small. It's a small, tiny airliner.
It's quite a wide. It's not that.
I think it's a single aisle.
Single aisle airliner. It's quite small.
It's the A320, yeah.
Yeah.
Consider that against the Concorde, shall we? Let's have a look. See the difference between that and the Concorde.
That wing profile is
144.
tiny.
Yeah.
144. That's 1/25th. That's 144. So even if that was 1/25th, it would be twice the length of that the Airbus.
How fat the Airbus is compared to Concorde.
Oh, I thought the Airbus was a nicer ride than the Boeing 787. Yeah, the one that crashed. The one that they decided that they wanted to put bigger engines on it, but then realized is that it would stall, so they put in a sensor to stop it from stalling.
737-800
and then they
series.
killed 3 lots, and they still denied it. It's absolutely, to be really honest with you, right? A plane has to fly without any sensors, but that 787 had to fly with that sensor.
It's a 737 Max you're on about, so
yeah, that's right. It was
a dog of a plane anyway. It was dogged by engineering troubles.
Well, say this is the engine. Say that's the wing. That's the wing, and there's the engine, right? Underneath the A320 fits lovely, but because it wouldn't fit under the 787, they brought it forwards and up, so the engine is actually over the top of the wing. And it gives it an unbalance then. So instead of moving the wings up the plane, which they couldn't do, and redesigning the plane to fit the engine, they push the engine forward and up. That's what it was. I watched a documentary on. Yeah, it's bollocks. Bollocks. Should never have allowed it. And then the bloke who signed off that plane, was it the FCC? Is it called over there? In America, the guy that signed that plane off, that Max, then got a job in the boardroom of Boeing. Fucking corruption, man.
Yeah, that's our US FAA.
Bollocks. Absolute bollocks.
Promoted to your level of incompetence.
If they did that in Europe, he would have got in prison.
Yeah.
Look
not being funny, it's like the Shoreham Air Show. The Hunter that crashed. Well, the Hunter that crashed. The Hunter that crashed at Dunsfold.
Yeah.
The guy who signed that off was the chief inspector at Dunsfold. He took voluntary redundancy, went to work for the guys who did that. He signed an unairworthy part off.
Yeah.
And they threw him to the wolves. British Aerospace didn't want to know him.
Yeah. And that's the problem. It's like, I was watching that documentary called Dirty Money, and it's called Knox. And it was the con of Volkswagen that they couldn't hit the European regulations on the diesel emissions. So what they did very cleverly, this little machine that they had in the car would make it carbon neutral, basically, but it'll burn out too quick. So what they did was as soon as you start the engine, it would run. So when you had it on a rolling road and you were going, it would work in. But what they were doing is that they fit this software really, and what happened is that it worked, but it would burn out over like 2,000, 5,000 miles. So through the testing, it worked, but the software did this. When you were driving along, as soon as you turn the steering wheel left or right, it would turn it off. So the machine was no longer carbon neutral. No. And that director of Volkswagen who signed that through, he did time inside, and they threw the book, and nobody died because of that thing. They just they tried to fool the European regulations on carbon neutrality or whatever, or NOx neutrality. But we had a guy who signed off the Boeing plane as safe, and he's still got a job from the working for Boeing. He should have been put in prison. It doesn't, this is why, I trust Airbus more than fucking Boeing, I'll tell you that much.
Total, just completely lacking logic, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like work, because obviously I worked in the aircraft industry, and I was, in the end, I was a chief inspector on a heat treatment firm. But the thing is, it's a responsibility. You're putting a stamp on something, saying it's okay, that it passes all the those specific tests. If that part then fails, it will come down to you. So why did you pass it?
Yeah.
So I can remember another apprentice. He lost a socket.
Yeah.
In the back of the fuselage of a Sea Harrier, and that Sea Harrier crashed, and he was panicking over his socket.
Yeah. It's never right, is it? Man, one a moment. 148th scale TSR2 from Airfix is way past re-release. Yeah. That'll be a vintage classic when they release that one, won't it?
Really? It's 2009.
TSR?
Yeah.
That's when it was tooled, was it?
2009, yeah.
Or was it the 172nd scale TSR?
That was 48 scale.
I thought it was 172nd.
48 scale would be 2009 be hella, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I need to go, by the way, so see you later.
No worries, mate. Nice seeing you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
See you around.
Take care.
Cheers.
See you Friday.
TSR.
The 72nd scale one was 2006.
Yeah.
I mean, either or both would be good.
I don't think they've got that kit,
No.
I reckon, looking at the box and everything, I reckon that is hella. You can always tell when it's an Airfix kit because they had that yellow Airfix sign, didn't they? They had the yellow in behind, like a hella yellow.
I know what kits. The kit is definitely Airfix. Is the 148 FA2.
Yeah.
But then there was a bit of a mix up in the tool, and they put the FRS1 wings in the kit.
Yeah.
Which had raised panel lines. Because I had a long argument with Phil Flory over that kit, and I said, "Well, I built the kit."
Yeah.
I built an engineer. I actually built an engineering sample. They got us to build it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Phil Flory. You don't hear much of him these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, the BAC TSR2 was released back in. It was all Airfix, so that's how they released it in 2013 as a Stratos 4, which had like weird looking.
Yeah, they did like 3 releases, didn't they? Or kind of manga kind of.
Yeah. When did Hornby buy Airfix then?
2006.
Was it?
Yeah.
I remember it well.
I wonder if they got them on eBay. How much is the BS? I wonder how much they are on eBay now then.
Silly money, the TSR2s.
Are they really?
Yeah.
So when did Humbrol buy Airfix? Did they get them on eBay? Was the
Wow, fucking hell.
I take it that is a yes. They're quite expensive.
Yeah. And the decals will probably be shite on them as well, wouldn't they?
Yep.
You know, expensive are those resin car kits. Like
Oh yeah.
Model Factory Hero, Alpha Models, or whatever. I mean, some of those things they're like $500 or something for a car, right?
Yeah. Yes. What? BAC TSR -2 unused inbox. £119 on today, I tell ya. What the actual?
Yeah, you see, Airfix should use eBay as a scale to like when they release. When the prices get too high, that's when they should re-release the thing.
You mean like the Bond bug?
Yeah. They have said that they look at eBay.
Got that up for 350 liquor. He's got that for. And the other one I'd love to see them do is the Rockwell B1B.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But you know, on eBay they're £90. Between 80 and 90 quid on eBay.
Have you looked what the prices for the Nimrod are going?
No, let's have a look.
They're going up, onward and upwards.
Nimrod.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck off. Really? Look, there's one here, right? £49.95. One bid, 5 minutes left, £7.50. Postage is a fucking rip-off too, right? So one bid at 49 quid. So why are the others selling them at 89? Yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Even Eddard, detailing set for it, 15 quid. Never right. Oh, dear me. It makes me so angry.
That you don't have a stash to sell.
No, he wasn't collecting the TSR2.
Retirement fund.
Yeah.
One bid of 49 quid. It's not a nice
thing. XL kit is the Lockheed Super Constellation.
Oh, I love that kit.
Airfix kit is Supercon. He's about £100.
Wow. Airfix. Oh, shut the front door. 100 quid. 100 quid.
Yeah.
There's one there for £79. Oh, crumbs. Oh, the Sikorsky H853C, the Super Jolly Green Giant. £8.50 at the moment on bids. The Dassault Super Entidad, £7.50. They've got a Spitfire 1A 24 scale super kit. So the original boxing, £85. It's just stupid money, isn't it?
Don't look at the Lightning because you'll get a shock.
The Lightning, Airfix
148 Lightning, yeah.
Do people order them or something, and then when they go out of stock, then they sell them, like on eBay or something?
79 quid. Fuck. Airfix, you need to raise your prices. Unbelievable. Taking the piss. 95 quid. Struth. Mind you, some here for £57, but £46 postage. What?
Yeah, I love the ones that the postage is just this, like almost the same amount as buying the kit itself, like through them, and it's like you're just paying double.
Here's one for you. Airfix E-Lightning 148 scale, £69.39. And then underneath it says plus 20% VAT will apply. And then they want £63 in postage.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Let's just say Sea Vixen. 148 scale Sea Vixen.
I'm having fun here tonight, I tell you. Airfix Sea Vixen, yeah?
Yeah. £89.
Oh!
The thing is, a lot of these kits, Airfix they were being sold at a lot of the shows. They were being sold at Telford for about 30, 40 quid each. It's the same with the Typhoon. It's being sold for 40 quid a pop. It's silly money now.
And all Airfix need to do is release it and fuck them up. That's what they need to do.
Oh, yeah.
Or people just don't buy them.
Oh.
But the obvious solution here is, if you don't want to pay 60 quid for a kit, don't buy it. And if everyone just goes, no, eBay, you're clearly off your fucking tits, then they won't sell for stupid prices. Done.
Is that Bond bug still up? I'm honestly curious if that one Bond bug.
Yeah, Bond bug. There's two of them up there. Yeah. The Airfix Bond bug is still up there. That's due out in July. That is.
Yeah.
So hopefully, yeah. It's Airfix Bond bug 300. There's one at 349.95 and one at 325.
Is that C Lab kit still at Boss?
Yeah, that's mega bucks as well.
That was like 600 quid or something.
600 quid. £600.
We couldn't even guarantee it was all there. It wasn't
exactly. Yeah. Unbelievable.
As in the seller wasn't all there.
Well, clearly.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I think I'm going to have to build this Concorde this week, aren't I? Just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Let's have a build. It looks all right.
That's a long seam line waiting to be filled.
No, I won't bother. I just put some
Seam
500
line
on
waiting
it
to
and just give it a rub down.
I was gonna say, like I just use the Tamiya extra thin, just put just enough so when you clamp it, it kind of comes up, and then hit it with the back of the hobby knife.
Yeah,
taken care of.
Yeah.
Basically, instant sprue goo, right?
Yeah. Well, and honestly, like my Tamiya extra thin at this point, I'm sure you can see how gray it is because Tamiya putty is actually thinnable with extra thin / the airbrush cleaner. And so if you want to get a really good putty job, use the brush to feather it out and to like thin it out. But then I wash it off in this, and so it's in here. And so my glue actually is closer to a sprue goo in general than the normal extra thin anyway.
I've had this for years, and I bought it secondhand. And that's the Mr. Dissolve putty from Mr. Hobby. And I love this stuff. I said it's still as good as it is on the day I bought it. Like, it's a little bit crusty on top, like most cheeses go like that, don't they? So
you can dissolve that with cellulose thinners as well.
Yeah.
It's good to know that other putties are thinnable in similar ways because I wasn't quite sure.
Well, what I was always saying is that I'm a big fan of Deluxe Materials Perfect Plastic Putty because you put it on, and then just as it starts to set, put your cotton bud in some water and just run it up and down, and it just smooths it off. You don't even have to. Well, you do a couple of strokes with your pad, and you're done.
So you can thin perfect plastic putty with water anyway. So
I mean the way that I do it, with the I broke it off.
Wayne Welly has seen the 120 Mozzie go for 300,000.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Yeah. Anyways, I like that McLaren. Is that your next build? Is it?
It's part of the same diorama that this guy's going in.
Oh, brilliant! So I've always wanted to buy that car.
Time travel.
Peugeot 206 advert.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it for Kits and Bits Tan's group build. It's a what if, and so I'm doing kind of a when worlds collide type thing. So I'm gonna build this up, and then I'm gonna take a heat gun and heat up the front of it and push it up against the Triceratops horn, so that way it's like dented in as if it has, head ended to the McLaren.
See, I have got the Mr. Servicer 500, but I never been able to mix it proper. So I ended up buying the can for it the other week. I bought a can of it. There you go, Mr. Servicer 500. I can't seem to get it to mix and then spray through my airbrush so well. Do you mix it 50-50, do you, with Mr. Level and Thinner, I guess? Or what would you, do any of you use that stuff before?
I only paint it. I only Harry stick it because it's so thick. It's got so much plastic in it.
Yeah.
I only use the Primer Surfacer 1000 as spray.
Yeah.
You don't want to run that stuff through your airbrush, man.
I've got the Mr. Servicer 1200, but like I said, I've seen people spray it, but I'm not sure what thickness they, how thin. I've tried to do it 50-50, and it doesn't. My airbrush don't like it.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
So you paint that on the seam line, do you? Is that what you do with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Conceptually,
stick it right on the seam line,
and then just give it a couple of buffs. It doesn't take a lot to buff off, does it? Either. Yeah.
Like conceptually, when you the whole point of Surfacer specifically being that it gives the surface the grit that's there. I feel like it shouldn't be airbrushed. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just me having never done it, but I feel like the grit at which you're getting that surface bite is going to be just anathema to your airbrushes to begin with.
Well, as I said, I am so basic when it comes to primers, because I still to this day use Humbrol primer. I love the stuff. If it's a good clean kit and I just want to put something for the paint to bite on, that Humbrol is fantastic.
I use Halfords.
Yeah, you said you use Halfords, but I always weary at using car products on that type of plastic, because the plastic on a car isn't the same as polystyrene. It's more PVC, isn't it? So it's going to burn a bit more.
I've never had a problem with it, and I use it on guitars as well, which is why.
But guitars are wood.
Normally.
Yeah.
I think I used car body primer when I did the HMS Snowberry, the 1/72 scale.
Yeah.
Oh, I primed that with car primer.
And that was all right, was it? It didn't warp
fine.
it or anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Halford stuff is it's better than the Citadel primer that I've got.
I know too with car modelers, I've seen a lot of people who just use automotive primers. Like, they just do the whole automotive paints for their model cars and do okay. So
that's a good shout, Zidane.
Yeah.
I use Mr. Servicer 1500 and Mr. Dissolve Putty. It seems to wick into the joint to be filled. Then buff it with Mr. Color Leveling Thinner. That's a really good shout. So do you mix? So what's the ratio of mixing the 1500 to Mr. Dissolve Putty? I wouldn't, because the Dissolve Putty, well, would be like 100, Mr. Surfacer 100, wouldn't it? Because it's that thickness. It's white. Oh, 50-50, fair shout. I'll have a go at that when I do this Concorde.
Yeah,
I'll
I
have a
think that
go.
Mr. I haven't used it, but I've got my eye on it. That Mr. Dissolve Putty seems to be like Mr. Servicer 500 or 1000, but it's a lot easier to sand, and it seeps in stops and creates a level surface.
That's right. That's what you want. But this one's getting old now because it's about that far now, about third left. And when I first got it, it was very there's a lot of clear on top. You've got to really mix it well. Give it a good old shake and everything. But I've not seen it for sale in this country. That's the thing. I got it second hand from a guy who I got a lot of model kits from. He come from Japan. The same with all my sanding sticks, because I was using standing sticks way before anybody else was. Because they were coming over from Japan from all the nail salons and stuff. So, but as I said, it is good stuff. This, if you can get it, but it's not cheap either. I don't think either. So, but that was my go-to, because as soon as you've done it, or Mr. Plastic or Dulux Materials Plastic Putty works really well. So, anyway, it's gone 10 o'clock, and I think we should close up now. Any other questions or anything? No. good. I think that's it. Well, thanks all for watching tonight. I know we're back again next Monday. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels that are here. John's good. How many are you up to now, John? Are you still looking for watch hours now, are you, mate?
Oh no, thank you. No, I'm good. You're
monetized now.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Are you monetized now?
A lot of channels that need my attention, that need attention more than mine. So
but you wanted to stop the adverts from being stupid because I didn't know this.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Because I didn't realize they'll put 5 on a 10-minute video now. You know, even at 20 minutes, I put on 3 and that's it. But then if I upload and don't check, like on this Airfix and Chill, they'll have 20 within 2 minutes for the first 40 minutes. Then they'll put them every 10, 20. So I have to cut them down, you know. So, but yeah, if you could look at John Alex's channel, find his playlist of videos, and then put it on a device so it's auto plays, and just keep the volume up to that first notch. If you don't have the volume on, it won't class as a watch hour.
Yeah.
And then help him get to his 4,000 watch hours, so he can then dictate when he puts adverts on his videos, because that's what we all want, is to be able to give the viewer the best experience. You know, and that's the problem.
Well, if you can't sleep, put John's videos on a playlist because they help you go to sleep. No problem.
Do. That
Right
voice
on.
is he's
Yeah,
like
no,
the Barry.
I hit like 5,000 hours, so I'm good. And so I went. I got monetized last Thursday. It was great.
That's
I woke
fantastic.
up Thursday morning, and I spent Thursday morning going video by video, setting the advert settings so that it was just a skippable ad at the beginning, and that's it. I want you guys to be able to, guys and gals, to be able to watch the videos and just enjoy them, and that. So it's like 30 cents a day or something.
Yeah.
It's like nothing,
Yeah,
but it's okay. It's 30 cents more than it was before, but all you should have to suffer through is maybe a skippable ad at the beginning. And
they're not skippable a lot of them.
By video.
Yeah. I'm quite fortunate that I do pay for the premium, but me and my beloved watch a lot of YouTube anyway. She watches a lot of ghosty stuff, and I watch a lot of scale modeling. That's one of my beauties of working on a computer all day, is that I have modelers on the background listening away. So, you know, it's good.
Same here.
And so remember, Alex and I do a podcast, and where's the next one out? Tuesday, isn't it?
It'll be a little bit delayed.
Just want to hear that.
Watch hours. It's just the way the podcasting app works. So it'll be the 5th, I think.
The 5th.
Towards the end of the week.
So we've got to do another one then, haven't we? So we're going to be a bit behind then, are we? Oh, fair enough.
Well,
so,
we'll have one in the bank then. So
I love a one in the bank. One in the bank. Yeah. It's a bit. I said B, bank. So yeah. So if you listen to our podcast, there's a link in the description box below. Also, just subscribe to all the channels here, which is good. And we will see you next Monday. Have a good one, folks, and we'll see you soon. God bless you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.